Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation, Positive Perspectives Matter, Enhancing Positive Organizational Behavior. On behalf of my colleague and myself, I would like to welcome you all to our presentation, and hopefully you will find it useful and applicable to the real world situations. First, let me just give you a brief of Dr. Dwekat's background. Dr. Dwekat is an assistant professor with a PhD in Islamic and Educational Studies from the University of Jordan. He published in several journals, in peer-reviewed journals, and his main research interests are in Islamic, cultural, and educational studies. As for myself, I obtained my doctorate in education from the University of Exeter, UK, and I participated as a plenary speaker and a presenter in a number of international and local conferences, symposia, and forums. I was always keen on inspiring my students and others and transforming their attitudes by showing a positive example of a long life learner. My research interests and areas of expertise include teacher professional growth, teachers and students' emotions, and positive psychology, and the most important is education leadership and education technology. I published several book chapters and a number of papers in language education and professional development journals. So let me share with you our agenda for this presentation. Uh, we will talk about organizational behavior as a brief, and I will share the theories of positivity as we deem appropriate for this paper, cultural awareness, the implications of our paper, and the discussion. So first, let me start by asking you and myself, what is organizational behavior? Many definitions have been argued in literature, but most of them showed consensus that organizational behavior is the systematic study of individuals and groups of performance within an organization. No matter what occupational setting individuals have, people are considered the building basic blocks of an organization. Well, when we talk about organizations, we know that we talk about the human nature as such would vulnerably or confidently deal with a range of emotions. So we usually know that at work, of course, we have lots of pressures, lots of stress, and with lots of challenges that we need to cope with on a daily basis. For so many reasons, you might experience, you and me, different kind of emotions, a rainbow of emotions: fear, stress, disappointment, excitement, joy, happiness, a number of emotions. So as I call them, or I prefer to call them like crisis mates. So our emotions are crisis mates. Whenever we are faced by any crisis, any pressure, of course we will need to react, and our reactions are our emotions, like presented in our actions. Individual and organizational performance would probably improve. This is our thought, that by creating an atmosphere of trust, collaboration, transparency, and shared vision. But how we can achieve this? Our assumption is that positive organizational behavior seeks to understand human excellence and exceptional organizational performance. So we think of the first theory of positivity, that our understanding is that if this theory is implemented in our workplaces, it will help a lot in creating a positive atmosphere. The attribution theory of emotions focus in people's interpretations of daily life events and situations. So it's mainly about people's explanations of their own failures and successes. For example, let me share an example for you. So, an employee who attributes his failure to get a promotion to his lack of skills only and disregards other factors is unlikely to succeed in his future or exert more efforts to try again or look for other promotion opportunities. However, if the employee attributes the event of not receiving the promotion to the organization terms and requirements as one possible reason that he might have not fulfilled, he is likely to work harder to get himself more familiar with those requirements and exert efforts to polish his skills and fulfill terms. So when we talk about theories of attribution, it's mainly about how do I look at things? How do I interpret things? Is it always that I put the blame on others? Is it always that the others are always wrong and I'm right? Is it always that I am the only person who is looking at things differently? It depends on how do you interpret things? How do we interpret our successes and failures at the workplace? Of course, it's not always that we are right and the other person is wrong. So unless we are aware of this theory, unless we are aware that we work with people and we work with different backgrounds, and we need to understand that always our reactions to things are different because we come from different backgrounds, from different cultures, and that it's not always that there must be a misunderstanding. It's not always that the others doesn't understand me. It's most probably that I don't understand the other. So the other theory is that we deem appropriate for this in our research is the theory of Broaden and Belt. The Broaden and Belt theory of positive emotions was firstly proposed by Barbara Fredrickson, who claims that she claims that when individuals feel positive emotions, their momentary thought action repertoires broaden and the experience builds enduring personal sorry she claims that broaden and experience builds enduring personal resources. So we believe that based on this theory, if we cannot avoid negativity around us, we can work on our thoughts and attitudes and change the way we respond to it. So the broaden and build theory can serve as the individual experience and expand in the work environment. Positive emotions can also influence the individual's cognitive outcomes, including creativity, flexibility, or receptivity. We believe that positive emotions can effectively influence the organization behavior and impact productivity. What I mean is that understanding one's emotions and how they interpret them is very important. I mean, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel unhappy. It's okay to feel unsatisfied. But it's not okay to take these negative feelings the whole day with you, to carry them on your shoulder all the day and reflect them on your reactions and responses to others. Unless we are aware of our emotions and we think of other positive alternatives all the time, the workplace will become like a battlefield. So we need to think all the time of positive alternatives during the time of the day and to try to understand our emotions and the others' emotions. The other thing is that when we talk about emotional intelligence theory, I'm quite sure that probably all of you or most of you are aware of this theory. It has become very popular in most of the fields of in literature. Uh, the emotional intelligence concept has become well known almost a decade ago, as Cooper states, for example, that probably due to its association, that this emotional intelligence is like the key factor, the secret key to our interaction with people. As you see here on this diagram, so it depends on many factors that unless we are aware of all of them, our interaction with people will be really hard and it will be very difficult for us to interpret and to understand the other. It needs a sense of self-perception. It needs a sense of self-expression. It needs some interpersonal skills and intrapersonal skills. It needs some kind of self-regulation, empathy with the others. All of these, they are not easy. They are not like one button technique that I need to learn and push the button and go and act accordingly. Of course, it's very difficult. It is not like it because it affects the core beliefs. It affects our own selves. But if we have the readiness, if we have the willingness to understand the other, we can probably have positive vibes at the workplace. We can probably understand the other better, and then we can look at ourselves and self actualization and self awareness in a different, better way. If I'm able to understand my anger, if I'm able to understand the sources of my frustration, and this will help me understand the sources of the others' anger, the others' source of frustration. So if I am aware of myself's feelings, this will help me in trying to attempt uh, to understand the others as well. So it's about well-being, it's about performance, it's about emotional and social functioning. It's a skill that all of us we need to learn and try to implement at work. So our assumption is that these four factors in the emotional intelligence uh, talk about the negative emotions. Yes, we know them, but negative emotion in this sense are associated with the individual's reactions towards any type of stress or challenges. So we know that nowadays many employers hire their candidates for their high IQ scores, but then they terminate their contracts because they lack the soft skills or the lack of emotional intelligence. Then what we think and we deem appropriate in this paper is that also these theories, if we try to give them a sense of cultural awareness, we know that every organization, in each organization, we have core values that every organization takes care of and emphasize at the workplace, like focus on customers, goals, trust, ethics, responsibility, and many other core values. So the importance of cultural awareness in this sense is that in organizing stems from the need to understand and appreciate the culture of others. If I'm unable to appreciate the culture of my colleague or the culture of the organization or the culture of uh, my boss, then it's likely that clashes will happen and conflicts will happen. So our understanding of these theories that if I am able to understand my own feelings and control them, if I'm able to understand the others and interpret other people's reactions in a different way, if I'm open to alternatives, if I'm open to other ideas, then probably positive outcomes will take place in the organization environment. So, and literature here talks about the strong culture and at the workplace, the strong culture of the organization. So if I add this to the cultural awareness of the individual, so in this case we will have, shared values. We will talk about members in the organization who every one of us feels important in the workplace. Everyone is ready to start initiatives. Everyone is ready to help, to collaborate, to cooperate with others, because the cultural organizational values stress these values. Plus we have these positive vibes. So we have this sense of understanding. We have this sense of regulating ourselves. We have this sense of trying to understand the others. So if all of us are aware of these theories and we add a sense of cultural awareness, our assumption is that a positive organizational behavior is created in the workplace. So our implications here focus is that we, both of us, our bosses, everyone in the organization, the individuals, the employees, everyone there, we should have sense of self-reflection and work towards an efficient set of positive and emotional skills. All of these, will help us better understand the other, better understand our interpretations and others, better understand, the email that may come to me on a day that I'm not personally meant. I'm not the person who is meant to fight. I'm not meant to have an argument with my boss because he sent me that email or that let's say the tone. I did not like the tone of that email. So if I do my best to understand that the email was sent officially, like because under pressure we do things that we do not sometimes do not pay attention to. So if this happens on a regular basis, it means that no, I need to take action. This is for sure. But if it happens once, having in my mind that positive mindset, I will understand, I will try to find a solution to that email. I will try to understand that it just came to me because my boss was instructed to send this email and I have to follow that instruction, but without having or taking it personally. Of course, this is only one simple example of trying to understand. It's also the job of the organization and individuals to bridge the gap between the individual's cultural values and the organizational cultural values. Unless we reach a page of understanding, well, working in this environment will be really stressful and very hard to cope with. So our understanding is that we need to be so ready to try new things. We need to be ready to try other things. We need to try to understand the other, and we need to try to be so open that we understand what is happening at work is not like meant to hurt us. What's happening at work is only temporary. It happens because it is the nature of the organization that stresses are there, pressures are there, challenges are there. Every time and then things pop up in front of you that we need to tackle in a different way. Unless we are aware of all of these things, nothing will be more fruitful or more successful at the workplace. This is our understanding, and I think that more research is needed to prove this on real ground. But like, for example, sending surveys, having interviews with employees and people of authority to prove that our assumptions are true. Thank you so much for you, and I look forward to having and receiving your questions. Thank you so much.